Hello everyone, Kaiser here, and today I'm back with a new video, which is the custom Midna figure from Legend of Zelda: The Twilight Princess. And there is actually a bit of a story of why I decided to make this figure and why it took me so long to get to it. So before we get into the actual figure, let's get into that little story.
So as you know, The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess came out in 2006, but at that time I wasn't really a customizer. I think I was still in like kindergarten or first grade around that time. But a few years later, probably when I was like 12, I actually started seeing Midna a lot more, and that was around the time when I was getting into customizing figures and making my own videos. And I'm gonna say they weren't good, but there's still something I did. So around that time, that's when I wanted to start making Midna, but it was also around that time and a few years later, which is when I kind of started to give up on customizing, if that's something you didn't know about me. But after the little resurgence I had with the Dragon Ball Z video, I decided I would still try and make this figure become a reality. But there was one problem, and that was I didn't know which action figure to use. I was thinking of using a Sonic figure because it was small and at the very least I could make it look like her, but I didn't go through with it because I just thought it wouldn't work. So I decided to look up custom Midna figures, and the most popular one was this one on the screen here. I'll leave a name and a link to in the description of the site it's on, or at least the site where I found it. And yeah, it was really good. It was actually what I referenced for my Midna figure. And recently, I have seen a lot more Midna figures on Google. And so that's when I decided, okay, I will try to make this figure become a reality. But there was still the problem of I didn't know which figure to use. But then I saw that I had an extra Judy Hopps, if you remember that. And I thought, hey, this looks vaguely close to Midna, I could use this. So that's what led me to making this video and making this figure. So with that, let's get into the rest of the video.
So starting off with the base of the figure, this was made from a Revoltech Judy Hopps figure, or more so, the bootleg version I got. And if you remember from my video about the Revoltech Judy Hopps figure, you know that I got two of these. This is not gonna stand, is it? Okay, there we go. So yeah, I had gotten two of these, and for a while I didn't know. Okay, so I had to put her on the base so she wouldn't fall off. But yeah, these are pretty much the same figure, except this one's been customized. So let's get into that. So for the process of making this, starting with her head, it's actually not the Judy Hopps head that originally came with the figure. It was a 3D printed head, well, more so an elf head that I 3D printed, sculpted, mostly the ears and the hair, which we'll get into a little bit later, and then painted to look like Midna. I'm really glad I'm really happy of how I did the mouth, with showing that one little fang she has. So that was nice. And then moving on to her neck, if you can see, it did make those little neck spikes. I don't know what you call those, but I was actually planning on not making those, so yeah, I decided to go with it, and I think they turned out pretty well. For the rest of her body, this was one of the reasons that actually put me off from making this figure. Because she has the most asymmetrical body I've ever seen, but it was such a really cool design and I really wanted to get it right. So as you can see, I did try my best, but one part that infuriated me, well, I wouldn't say that, but was the most frustrating part of this, was making all those little light teal details she has. So the one on the thigh there, the one on her lower leg, on her hip, little flower there, you can see it, there you go, and of course on her arms. Like, the thing is, I had to use so many toothpicks to get these right. Oh, and the ones on the ears, can't forget about those. And I'm really glad I did, because I think with a normal brush this would have been impossible, but I really like how they came out. And speaking of her arms, or at least her hands, I did give her some accessories. So these hands that come on her, there's this one, and this one's weirdly flexible. Let's see that. Then there's this one, which both come from Figma. And then I have an extra set of hands, which also come from Figma. They're really small, so sorry about that. And another thing is that her feet are actually from a Figma archetype she figure, because Midna has really tiny feet, and I wasn't exactly sure if she had actual toes or if they were just like little nubs. But I decided this was the best thing, and I still think they look pretty well. So yeah. And about her hair, this is probably the greatest part of this figure. So with most figures that I show you during that story, I wasn't really sure if they ever made the helmet removable, but that's what I decided to go with, so I will show you. First off, you can take off the hair, and then you can take off the helmet, and you can see that I did paint the rest of her face along with the hair. So let's start with the helmet. So the helmet is made out of cardboard and tape, pretty standard. Again, along with probably the light teal painting. This is the hardest part to make. I'm sorry if you can't see exactly. It was really hard to get all the details in and painted, but I do like how it came out. So yeah, there's that. For the head, again, I really like how it came out. I like how the hair came out. And if you saw from the work in progress video, you know I struggled with the hair until I got this one, so it could both fit over the helmet and at least look somewhat right. And for the hair, this is kind of like a technique I saw Wake Angel use about 2 times. If you don't know Wake Angel, he's another customizer, mostly known for Sonic customs. And so for a Shantae and Legend of Zelda custom, he made the hair out of pipe cleaners. And so what I did, since as you can see, the head isn't fully completed, it still has that little hole in the back, I made some hair out of pipe cleaners, mostly the back of like the ponytail and the little I forget what you call it, but yeah, this is made out of wires. So I made that the hair, so not only could it look right, but it can move around a little bit, so that's cool. But not only that, but you know that Midna uses a lot of hair attacks, pretty much making her hair into weapons, or at least a hand, so that's what I did. Again, it's the same process, just with a lot more pipe cleaners and shaped into a hand. And I have to say, I really like how this came out too. It's completely movable, so that's pretty cool. You can get her waving, making a fist, saying "come at me, bro," or even flipping you off. And if you can, and that one also fits into the back too. Takes a little bit of force. And while it is able to move around, it is pretty heavy, so she can't really stand up with it. Well, I mean, she could, but again, takes a lot of effort. So let's get everything back together. There. So yeah, I really like how the accessories came out. And with that, let's get on to articulation. Hair can go up and down pretty far. It can go side to side, but it does go at an angle because of how the joint is placed. Like, I can't take the head off and move the joint around so it looks right, but it's fine. The arms can go out to the side. She does have a bicep swivel. A single jointed elbow. Goes a little bit better than 90 degrees. An elbow swivel. wrist swivel and hinge. Her waist, which is a little loose, it is known to pop off, but that's kind of what I get for buying a like $20 figure, but still fine. She can move side to side, she can crunch forward, back, and she can, yeah, hold on. So yeah, this can move too. It can move side to side and it can move back a little bit. So there's that. Let me get her back together. The legs can go forward, can go back a little bit. She does have an inner thigh swivel. It's kind of hard to move because of all the paint, but still works. Double jointed knees, and they can swivel too. And she does have an ankle hinge and an ankle pivot. So yeah, I do like how this Midna came out for the most part, but if you know Midna, you know that she's pretty small. I'm not going to be able to, oh, wait. Yes, Scout, stand up. So yeah, she is pretty small, and with that, let's go into a bit of height comparison. Once again, here she is standing next to the Reveltech Judy figure I have. Gonna make her stop face palming herself. And I do like, oh, almost fell. So where's these feet? They look nice, but she cannot stand up for anything. Stand. So yeah, there she is standing next to Judy, and like I said, they look pretty well together. She may be a little bit taller, but I say it still works. Here she is standing next to two smaller figures, which is my 3-inch Sonic figure and my Rocket Raccoon. And I have to stand Sonic up weirdly because these guys are known for being top heavy and not standing up. But yeah, I know she is a bit taller. I know she probably should be around like Sonic's height at least, but I'm still fine with how it came out. If you see the most well-known Midna figure, that one stands almost as tall as Link, so I don't think it matters. And here she is standing next to my custom Link figure and my 2 Link figure. And yes, adult Link is a lot, or Twilight Princess Link I should say, since that's what I based it off of, is a lot taller than both of them. But if I move it up here, you can see that he does stand taller than both of them. And once again, I do like how Midna looks with him. I hope someday I'm able to make like a custom Wolf Link. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoyed the little work in progress video that I did for this figure. I am thinking of doing that for more figures that I make. So if you guys would like to see that, then tell me what you think. So with all that being said, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.